The Sydney Harbour Bridge turns 80 today, and this morning a group known as Harbour Bridge Heroes climbed to the summit along with members of the Sydney Symphony Orchestra. Now, the heroes are people with a special connection to the coat hanger, from relatives of those who put the first rivet into the bridge to a woman who was born on the bridge in an ambulance. And I climbed to the summit to have a chat with this group and be entertained by the Sydney Symphony Orchestra 134 metres above the harbour. And I began by speaking to Jim Bradfield, the grandson of the bridge's civil engineer.
There would be no better place than here, I would say, to be having a birthday party. It's fantastic.
What do you think your grandfather would have thought?
I think he would have been amazed to have seen and heard the brass. That just would have blown him away, I believe. Yeah, he was a man of vision, but I think that is even further than he had thought.
I was born in an ambulance on the Sydney Harbour Bridge in 1958, and the ambulance driver wanted to adopt me, but I couldn't, so he supplied all my nappy and food and clothing for the first year that I was alive. And my second name is Bridget, after the bridge.
That's very special. What does it mean coming up here today to celebrate the bridge's 80th birthday?
As an Indigenous person, I feel really, really proud. I'm overwhelmed, and I just can't get over the view from up here. It's magnificent.
My family's tied to the bridge in two ways. My grandfather was employed by Dorman Long, and he was a frogman who surveyed the footings for the Harbour Bridge. And my uncle, Charles Ferrugia, is said to have put the first rivet in the south pylon of the bridge, which was the first rivet in the whole bridge.
What does it mean to be here today?
A lot of pride today in these two men that gave a lot of their life to the bridge, and they certainly love this building. They love the structure.
Yeah, the world has changed, Sydney has changed, but the bridge is still here and will be here for that many years to come, over the most beautiful harbour in the city, in the world, and that's what makes it the pinnacle and what it is.
For the heroes, climbing the bridge today has been a real thrill, but also celebrating its 80th birthday, the Sydney Symphony Orchestra.
And my favourite piece of music is Fanfare for a Common Man, and I couldn't believe that's what they played today, so somehow this was meant to be. Yeah, it's a great day.
A great celebration for a great bridge.
Sydney's most famous landmark has been treated to a fanfare on this, her 80th birthday. The tribute high up on the arches was for a select audience who share a special connection with our bridge.
134 metres above the harbour, the Sydney Symphony paid homage to one of the country's best-loved landmarks.
So there's a bit of, conjecture about, what are we trying to say up here on the bridge and all that sort of thing. But I think fanfare for the common man, very, very appropriate.
80 years ago today, the coat hanger opened to traffic. Those with special connections to the bridge made an early morning climb to share their stories.
There's a great one from my Uncle Charlie, who came to work on a Saturday morning and actually fell asleep in one of the girders. And before he knew it, that girder was being hoisted up 17 or 18 metres into the air.
It took 14,000 workers 6 years to build the Harbour Bridge, and at the time it was recognised as an engineering marvel, creating history and memories.
My mother was travelling to Crown Street to give birth to me. However, I wanted to come out and see the bridge there and then, so I popped out.
It was originally going to be a floating structure. And now, every weekday, 160,000 cars travel across the bridge, which cost around $6 million to build. Now an internationally recognised symbol of Sydney. Talitha Cummings, 7 News.
Long before the Opera House, another great structural dream came true and put Australia on the world map. Today, Sydney's very own Iron Lady celebrated a very gracious 80th birthday.
dawn and the beginning of day 29,221 in the life of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. The Sydney Symphony Orchestra, born the day the bridge opened, March 19, 1932. Octogenarians together.
It was great to celebrate the bridge. I mean, it's such an iconic structure.
During the 10 years it took to build, the bridge was called the Iron Lung. It breathed life into a depression-stricken Sydney. Thousands of men employed, hundreds of companies involved. Dangerous work, though. Occupational health and safety non-existent. 16 workmen died, and hundreds of homes were bulldozed for the bridge approaches. No compensation paid. All of that forgotten 80 years ago today. Almost 1 million people came to the opening, including 9-year-old Shirley Fox, granddaughter of bridge mastermind John Bradfield.
Oh, it was the most exciting day of your life to be. I mean, the bridge had been our life, watching it grow, and then all of a sudden it was the day and we were dressed up in our nights.
Colonel de Groot's infamous ribbon cutting, an unplanned highlight. They were very different times, not many cars, animals, a common sight. In fact, the bridge remains an official travelling stock route. You can still drive your cattle to market between midnight and dawn, but I wouldn't push it. As for the future, the experts say the bridge is good for about another 320 years. So, that's okay then. Peter Harvey, 9 News.